Rickles is my favorite part of
gang.
being in that film.
I never entertained a Mountie.
Well, he confesses to me before we start shooting that he owns De Niro. He said he found out when De Niro was a kid. There were two. Yeah, he knows he owns them going in. There were two types of peer groups on the street corners when De Niro was coming up. There was put-down groups, your mother this, your mother that. And there were doo-wop groups where they stand in a circle and sing songs. And Demure De Niro was in the put-down groups. And to those guys, Rickles was the Lord. So Rickles says, I own this guy, so watch. The wedding scene, there's 200 extras, and the camera's rolling, and Rickles is standing next to De Niro. De Niro's speaking, acting. Scorsese's watching, camera's rolling, and Rickles just stops and looks up at him and says, that's the way you're going to do it, huh? Like that? No, you got the awards. I'm sure you know what you're doing. Go ahead.
In the middle of the take.
In the middle of the take. Now, everyone freezes. You can hear the sphincters tighten. De Niro takes a nanosecond before the shoulder's shaking, and he's laughing uncontrollably. And it doesn't stop. Just at any chance he gets, he goes after him. Pesci, on the other hand, did not appreciate it. When Rickles pointed out that Joe was so short, he was going to ride him around the set like a Shetland pony.
No, I get it. I'm a midget and you're a genius. Go fuck yourself. This fucking guy.
So I'm walking out to his trailer after.
That fucking Jew prick cocksucker. Fuck him!
I said, Joe, he was just, yeah, you another one. Go fuck yourself. Not kidding. No sense of humor about it. Just wanted to kill Don Rickles.
But you did it. You got an offer?
You know, ever since something called A Few Good Men.
What's that? Is that a play you did?
It is not a play.
How'd you like working with Tom?
It's the greatest because
he really is.
Of all the reasons you've heard. One of my favorite things, the first AD, as you know, is the guy who kind of runs the ship. You've got 10 trailers, and you got to get everybody to the set at the same time. But everyone takes a different amount of time to come out of their trailer when they knock on it saying, we're ready for you now. And Frank Capra III was the first AD on A Few Good Men. And so let's see, Jack takes 17 minutes when you knock on his door. Demi takes 7. Pollak has to put on her shoes and pee, so he's like 4.5.
That's my thing. I
yeah.
gotta pee.
Yeah. And Tom, when you knock on his trailer, it's as if he's in a runner's stance, the 220, behind the door waiting for them to knock, and bolts out. And so to tell Frank Capra III, just be ready when you knock on my door, without saying it. Runs the set. Not only every time, this is a long story, longer.
No, it's great.
To emphasize, he is a lead. Jay, he's a lead by example guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Nicholson, what do you think he's doing that takes so long to come out?
Oh, man.
As him. Why don't you?
There's never been a human being who's more comfortable in his own skin.
I'm going to knock on your trailer door.
Okay.
And you do each person. So I'm going to go up to Jack's trailer door. Okay, we're ready. Ready for Jack? Sorry. Jack?
Steph, get the door. He had one assistant, and he nicknamed her Staff.
Staff? It's tremendous.
Steph, check the door.
I'll be Tom. You knock on my door. That's for the YouTube audience.
He didn't even stop to do that. I'm telling you, the door bolted open and he was running.
When you did The Usual Suspects.
Oh, boy.
My question is there a better time than being with Stephen Baldwin?
For people who hadn't seen the film, when they asked me about it, I would say it's absolutely lightning in a bottle. If you want further proof, you needn't look any further than the fact that Stephen Baldwin's really good in the movie. My agent at the time, so this is 94. So after A Few Good Men, as I mentioned, for the little comedian who wanted to be an actor, it all kind of blew up. So we would speak regularly about the small stack of offers. And so we got on the phone, and I would listen, he would tell me, and he would say, oh, but you really got to read the script, The Usual Suspects. And I said, who wrote it? And he said, you never heard of him, he's 25. Great. Who's directing? You never heard of him, he's 25. Who's in the fucking thing? Kevin Spacey. What else should we talk about? At that time, Spacey was a lesser-known character actor than I was, like way lesser known. No one was greenlighting Kevin Spacey movies, not even close. In fact, these two 25-year-olds decided they wanted him and had other offers for money to finance this movie, but they would say, we'll finance this, but not with Kevin Spacey.
But we need you to use Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah, exactly.
Skeet Ulrich is here.
Yeah. For this went on for weeks and weeks, where he would try to dial me back to, you got to read the script. And I would say, what else? Come on, really, stop it already with this. And so when I finally read it, I got to about page 10 and called him and said, I'm in.
I'm always amazed at Benicio Del Toro doing that
So
retarded voice.
to that, when I met with Brian finally to talk about, he said, well, the only two parts left are the part that Benicio ended up doing and the part that I ended up doing. He said, whichever one of these you want to do. And I said, well, I don't want to do that one because...
Was it written that way?
No, it's not written that way. Any line of mine almost that you might quote back to me from the film, I improvised because I was given the freedom to do so. Greatest script I've still ever read, but I was allowed to improvise. And in the first lockdown scene, which we shot before the lineup, it's the first time we're all together. And we get to the part where Benicio's character talks, and he speaks in that voice. Yeah. And my character in the film says, what the fuck did he just say? Not only was that not in the script, not only was it not me improvising, I was breaking scene and asking the director, what the fuck did he just say? Because they decided, Brian and Benicio, not to tell us that he was going to do that. And he steals every scene he's in is really my point.
He's gorgeous and he looks cool.
But I mean,
and then he opens his mouth and it's like...
There was nothing on the page for that character. The only reason for him to exist, spoiler alert, is to die early, right, to tell the rest of us we can't run from Kaiser Soze. But there was nothing on the...
So that's just what a weird choice for him to just show up and be like...
I mean, it was right there in the moment. Since I've got nothing to really say to contribute to the script, I'll be indecipherable and steal every scene I'm in.
Alan Arkin, I meant to tell you this, when we're doing the fabulous Burt Wonderstone, I walk into the makeup trailer in Vegas. You know, they're long and there's two entrances.
Yeah.
All the way down at the other end is Alan Arkin.
Oh.
Who, by the way, is a card-carrying fucking hippie. Who knew?
Yes.
He's wearing courts and he's wearing fucking Birkenstocks. It's
Zen master.
Yeah.
For sure.
He looks like he just walked out of a yurt. Not what I expected from the dentist from the in-laws. I walk in, and he's still looking in the mirror, and he goes, oh, Christ, do you do me? It's the first...
That's a great compliment.
Right.
Yes.
And I go, no. He goes, good. Yeah. Kevin Pollak does me. It's awful.
He gave...
He said it was awful.
He gave me... he told me what his acceptance speech would be 10 years before, or more, before he won for my...
Little Miss Sunshine.
And he didn't use this speech when he won. And I asked him, and he said, you just...
So he's a liar.
You blank out. But he did write what I think may be, oh, you be the judge. Applause, 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 applause. You make the walk. You're standing at the thing. They hand you the thing. Thank you. I'd like to say two things. First of all, pitting artists against each other is the most heinous crime in any capacity, and the fact that you're all dressed up and we're here doing it is hideous to me. It's the opposite of the reason any of us got into this, and I think it's I really do think it's atrocious. And secondly, I'd like to say this is the greatest night of my entire life. Thank you. How do you write that speech and then not use it? No one forgets it for the rest of time. But the whole 10 Yards was interesting because on the first movie, I come out of my trailer, it's a night shoot, and the pimply-faced kid on The Simpsons is holding the per diem manila envelope and says, I got your per diem for you, Mr. Pollak. Oh, cool, thanks. Just sign here. And I'm signing, and I hear from behind me, Michael Clarke Duncan, where's my per diem? Hey, Mike. Yeah, where's Mike's per diem? Well, they just gave me this one, sir. Well, how do we know that's not my per diem? Huh. That's an odd thing to say. It says, Kevin, right on the 6'5", 300 pounds. This might be your per diem, Mike. Yeah, where is Mike's per diem? Oh, golly. Kid shits himself. And I say, well, listen, let's get in the van and go to set and they'll figure it out. Mike was very, very disgruntled about this per diem situation. We get to set, and I go to the place where the director chairs a seat, and Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry, and Bruce's longtime executive assistant Stephen Eads. 20 minutes goes by, a half hour goes by, longer than you should have Bruce Willis on set in his chair. So he taps on his watch to Stevie. Stevie says, I'll check it out. Runs off, comes back, and says, yeah, there's a problem. Mike is pissed off about something, and he's not coming to set. Then the director, Jonathan Lynn, comes over and says, Kevin, you might know something about this. It seems you stole Michael Clarke Duncan's per diem. Is that right? And Matthew Perry, who gave me every funny line I ever said in any movie I was with him, says to me in that moment, why would you steal his per diem? And Bruce says, what the fuck are you talking about? And I said, oh, there was this whole thing at base camp, and I explained to them what I explained to you. I said, I'm the only one who knows other than Mike what actually happened back at base camp. So let me go over and just see what I can do. I go and I walk across campus to the other side where he's seated by himself. And before I can utter an apology for stealing his per diem, anything to get back to work, the principal of Lunacy High says to me, you ought to think twice before stealing a man's per diem. Now I realize, he's not just running for office. He owns the planet of crazy. Because you just said that to the only other person in existence other than the pimply-faced kid from The Simpsons.
You ought to think twice. By the way, we're talking about $220.
Yeah.
It's not like 50 grand.
No.
It's like, here's $200 so you can get some burgers this week.
In my mind, if he's convinced himself to say that to me, it's like talking to a drunk. There's going to be no reasoning with this fella. So I said, hey, man, let's put your name on the envelope they gave me. And what do you say we go back to work? How about that? Because
so you're the Michael Clarke Duncan whisperer at this point.
And he grimaces, grunts, and agrees to go back to work. But the scene we were shooting is my character, again, spoiler alert, dead in the car, and his character shaking gasoline onto me and a couple of others. I've never seen anyone exert such effort to get liquid onto a fellow's face, which was nearly impossible to remain, quote unquote, acting dead. Cut to sitting on a beach, phone rings. It's Bruce Willis. He calls me and says, hey, we're doing a sequel to Whole Nine Yards. And I said, wow, man, that's incredible. I don't know if you remember, my character got killed in the first one. So are you calling to rub it in? Because, again, there ain't no money like sequel money. He says, no, you're going to come back as your character's father. Fuck, this is great.
Yeah.
Is everybody coming back? He said, yeah, everyone but Michael Clarke Duncan. That son of a bitch can suck my dick.